PJ Patterson was so corrupt, he called himself the pirate. Now he comes pointing his crooked finger. Andrew Holness is the least corrupt prime minister and he proves it every day. Hey again, everyone. It's Skywalker. Welcome to my channel. It is where good coffee make bad people upset. So just be prepared. The other day I made a video where I mentioned that the PNP should get some young college graduates to bring new life and the means to the party. And after that, they went and brought in a dinosaur. I really don't know why. Imagine that. Mark Gummy Bear Golden, who looks like Fred Flintstone, and PJ Patterson, who is as old as Fred Flintstone. What will they think of next? Anyway, never mind. The old man who corrupted Jamaica to hell even came to point fingers at Andrew Holness, talking about corruption. Yes, you heard me right. He thought that people could have possibly forgotten his wickedness in our parliament. The perception of corruption in Jamaica has always been a polarizing issue, influenced by political rhetoric and public sentiment. Critics, including members of the political opposition, have divisively alleged that corruption has worsened under the Holness administration. This is, in a way, like wordspell, trying to create a negative perception and turn it into reality. While public concerns about governance are understandable, closer scrutiny reveals that these claims are not fully supported by evidence. By comparing Jamaica's current corruption standing to its position in 2012 and examining the administration's achievements, we can discern that the perception of rampant corruption is more fiction than fact. Andrew Holness has not done badly in that department at all. Mm-mm. Some members of the public, backed by opposition narratives, genuinely believe that corruption has escalated. Statements from notable figures, such as former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, the dinosaur, have further fueled this belief. Isolated incidents and unproven allegations often dominate media cycles, amplifying a sense of widespread wrongdoing. However, it's important to critically assess whether these isolated cases represent systemic corruption or are being exaggerated for political gain. To separate perception from reality, we turn to the Corruption Perceptions Index (CPI), a globally respected measure of public sector corruption. In 2012, Jamaica scored 38 out of 100, reflecting significant government issues and inefficiencies. And we know that Portia was prime minister at that time. By 2024, under the Holness administration, that score had risen to 44, marking Jamaica's best performance in over a decade. So, there you have it. Andrew Holness is always doing well and being cheated out of his flowers, exchange for lies. They take his flowers and give him lies. This is one of the most attacked prime ministers ever, even when his innocence is more than obvious. Of course, this improvement is a clear indicator of progress. There's less corruption, and it's a clear indicator of progress. Challenging claims that corruption has worsened. We debunk the myth. The CPI aggregates expert assessments and surveys, making it a a more reliable gauge than political rhetoric. The data unequivocally shows that Jamaica is perceived as less corrupt today than it was during earlier administrations. One of the strongest arguments against the narrative of increased corruption is the tangible achievements of the Holness administration, which suggest a more judicious use of public funds. These include the unprecedented rollout of major infrastructure projects such as roads, schools, and healthcare facilities demonstrates that public resources are being effectively deployed to improve citizens' lives. Under the Holness administration, Jamaica has experienced consistent economic growth, increased foreign investment, and a decline in unemployment. These outcomes signal improved governance and financial management. The establishment and strengthening of the Integrity Commission, coupled with public education campaigns against corruption, reflect a commitment to transparency and accountability. So, in truth, while Andrew was hoping that the Integrity Commission would do right in the fight against corruption, it seemed like the Integrity Commission itself was becoming corrupt, while he never turned 1 inch left or right from the straight and narrow way, and his achievements bear testament to that. It is hard to see him as the most or at the top of the corruption list, while at the same time getting such remarkable results on behalf of the people of Jamaica. It no, the match not going to match up that way. The connection between reduced misuse of public funds and increased investment in national development cannot be overlooked. Spending on the population, from education to healthcare, indicates that fewer resources are being siphoned off through corruption. The perception of increased corruption is further shaped by PNP political propaganda, which often exploits isolated incidents to advance partisan agendas. Critics point to specific controversies without acknowledging the measures taken to address them or the broader progress reflected in the CPI. Such tactics distort reality, creating a narrative that benefits opponents while undermining public trust. Propaganda always amplifies cognitive biases, leading individuals to believe repeated accusations even when evidence is lacking. This phenomenon underscores the importance of examining data and achievements rather than relying on politically motivated narratives. To be fair, no government is immune to challenges, and isolated cases of misconduct can occur in any administration. However, it is crucial to distinguish between isolated incidents and systemic issues. By forcing on Jamaica's improved CPI score and the administration's tangible successes, it becomes clear that the perception of rampant corruption is not supported by the evidence. PJ Patterson, Jamaica's longest serving prime minister, 1992 to 2006, presided over a period marked by numerous corruption scandals and governance challenges. While the Corruption Perceptions Index (CPI) was not introduced until 1995, Jamaica's scores during his tenure provide some insight into the public sector's perceived corruption at the time. In the mid 1990s, Jamaica's CPI scores hovered around 3 out of 10, equivalent to 30 out of 100 in today's format, reflecting significant corruption concerns. This was a period when scandals like the Shell Waiver scandal, Operation Pride, and the Traffic Euro affair dominated headlines. These incidents eroded public trust and contributed to the perception of widespread corruption under Patterson's administration. The contrast with Jamaica's current CPI score of 44 out of 100 under the Holness administration is striking. While challenges remain, the data suggests that governance and anti corruption efforts have improved over the years. The establishment of institutions like the Integrity Commission and the increased public awareness have likely contributed to this progress. It's worth noting that public perception often lags behind reality, influenced by political narratives and media coverage. Patterson's tenure is remembered for its controversies, and it is odd that he was sort of attacking Andrew Holness, the one with the least incidents of corruption, talking about the most corrupt time in Jamaica's history. Come on, Mr. Patterson. Maybe Patterson's age does come with some memory loss. While concerns about corruption in Jamaica are valid and should not be dismissed, the narrative of increased corruption under the Holness administration does not withstand scrutiny. The country's improved CPI score, coupled with significant achievements in infrastructure, economic growth, and anti corruption efforts, demonstrates progress. By addressing public concerns and fostering transparency, Jamaica can continue to build on these gains, dispelling false narratives and promoting trust in its institutions. So, in order to set the record straight, for real, think on these things, my people. Peace out.